you're not investing and giving the money to Raveum, right? Every property is owned by an LLC. The LLC is signed by the inspector of the state, the secretary of the state. For example, in Texas, Jane Nelson.
Yeah.
They sign the LLC documentations, we incorporate an entire company for you, and your investment goes directly in that LLC itself, ensuring compliance end to end.